talent that God has put in you. You don't never get to use it to develop it. So discipline is really important as well.
And so you got to set those boundaries, which is another level of discipline, because people don't want to let other people down, but they let themselves down. And so you sacrifice your peace for somebody else's moments of joy. And that's when you are not building your internal wealth. While I was talking with the children at the blind and deaf school, I started to show them my Instagram. So it's a picture of all of the kids surrounding me. And they can't hear, so I can't speak life into them, right? But when I was showing them, I'm showing them I'm in Dubai, I'm showing them me in Egypt, I'm showing them on stage with large crowds, I'm showing them me doing push-ups in different places. And I realized, you know, inspiration is a form of communication. You know what I mean? It can enlighten the mind to think beyond whatever they thought. Like, you see me, but by showing them those images, they say, damn, this is way more than I thought that he would have been doing, right? So now they're sparked in a different way. And listening is not just with your ears.
No, definitely. I saw that. RG. Saw that. Their eyes, they were, you know, getting bright and lighting up because, you know, they never been somewhere else. So, yeah, what you say, inspiration, you tap in, you know, in so many different ways. And I mean, those are just the children that, you know, I want to help, right? Yeah. So when you came there, I'm like, okay, how do I communicate with them? Because either they're blind or they're deaf. And without even, I mean, how long did we spend there? We find ways. We find ways, and then, of course, like, if you could, like, speak sign languages, that will make it for them more easy, but we don't need to do that. We just have to appear, and I'm sure when you left, they were like, that guy with the crown, like, he inspired me. I want to do, maybe I want to do push-ups right now, or, you know what I mean?
That's beautiful. What would you say? Sign language. Everything is language. A sign is a symbol. You know what I mean? So symbols create realizations in the mind. You know what I mean? It's a lot of times it can't be communicated, right? Because it's not the same hemisphere of the brain that operates on communication, right? That's creativity, it's art, and it's meaning, right? And so we can be in awe and inspiration. So a person watches, they see how you dress, but it's not normally what they get from a football player. So you've already broken a certain stereotype and archetype in their mind. Right. So they say, wait a minute, I can be a football player and be fly. Right. Then they see you do philanthropy. Right. They say, wait a minute, I can have money and give back. Right. I can make money and do social good. Right. So as they see you do music, they say, wait a minute, I can have multiple passions, talents, and dreams. Right. And all these things can be done. Right. So it's like, inspiration through demonstration is the highest form.
Yep, for me that is so me, because I feel like I'm not always the best in communicating, you know, talking, and I just rather show you, and you will feel the energy, and my energy will move you to come with me and to, you know, to get inspired. So, you know, it took a lot of people many years before they understood me and they actually saw what I was doing, because I have so many other athletes, for example, they were not fucking with me like a couple years ago. They were like, "This, what is this? This guy is weird, and he's just all over the place. Now we don't want to do music. He does this, but he's fly. Like, what? Like, we don't understand him. So we just rather not, you know, not really rock with it."
Yeah.
And then I call it like an invisible prison because they're trying to put us in a box most of the time, right? So especially as an athlete, they want you to just focus, eat, sleep, train, repeat. Like God didn't make me that way.
It's a form cycle, but it makes it easier for other people to understand you if you're simple, right? People don't often understand complex things.
Exactly.
But human beings are complex. People ask me, what does Keys do? I'm like, I do what you see me do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have a show, then that means I have a media company, right? If I design myself, that means I'm a stylist, right? If I put up my own money, I'm also executive producer. If I'm traveling the world speaking, right, I'm a speaker. I'm a thought leader, right? I'm all of these things, but they want me to pick one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's simpler.
Right.
But I say I'm a global thought leader, and that was just to say, this is a way you can put everything under an umbrella. Right. I say I'm a young God because I'm speaking on what I bring from inside me, outside me. Right. But the world has not caught up to that point where they can understand rare human beings that build out all of their complexity and live around their gifts, skills, and talents.
Right. I think they start to understand more and more as more leaders come together and showing a clear picture and talking about different topics. They see, okay, we might not have that in us, but we understand what he's doing and we follow him. Or follow him. Yeah. Because, not everybody is born to lead. And yeah, for me, I don't like simplicity because it's not me. So if I would have been in that box, like what they're trying to keep us in, then I would have been just, depressed and not happy. And they tried it with me when I was 21, but they couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't allow that to myself and to God because he made me a different way. So it's beautiful to talk about that, and I think you articulated in the perfect way. So now we're just in Africa being fly.
Yeah. And I like that's the best thing to show, because it's like I can tell you something, but when I show you, you believe it. Right? And I'm showing you that you can use your mind, come from any circumstances on the planet Earth and do whatever you want, and that makes you free. What makes you a slave is when somebody controls your mind and your will. So if you control your goodwill and how you bring things out, and you can control your mind in the way that you think, and you put no limits on it so you can be seen in whatever capacity, then you break out of that invisible prison that the world puts you in and say, hey, check a box and be that. And we're going to categorize you in that, and then we're going to treat you based on that. But when you break the box, you said, I want to do everything I want to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was not hard. I mean, for some people, how can I say it? They have to see it, as you said. They have to see first. And I never got that concept because I feel like, okay, I'm a guy that I just walk in faith. Even I don't know the outcome, but the voice is leading me somewhere. But people getting afraid of the unknown, and they want to know everything before. Like but you know that if everybody knew how their life would play out, they will be like, there's no fun at this point, because you know what you're gonna be in like 30 years, so you're gonna plan different stuff, and you might not accomplish different things before you get there, right. And God don't want you to know. So I walk like that, and yeah, what I say, like people are scared to lose deals. That's why they also stay grounded, and they don't want to be too much outspoken about certain things, or they want to just, as an athlete or whatever, you get paid good, but they want you to be just, what I mean?
Right. So, and that's what I think that's a common thread across the whole planet Earth, is that this is a generation who is rebelling against a lot of old ideas, because what we realize is that did not make our parents happy. They didn't make the people who came before them happy. right? We see them live a life in that box, follow those rules, do everything, only to have regrets, only to be depressed, right? And for nothing to change, and for the children after that to inherit the same exact circumstances.
Yeah.
So it would be insane to go through the same exact route, doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
Right? So the passion of our generation is to do what's necessary, regardless if it's, what's permissible.
Yeah. Yeah. I always said, like, a lot of people, what I say is, are scared to lose that bag or to lose. The thing is, I'm not money driven. Money just, it comes and it goes. Like, I've been born without anything, and, I built myself up. So if they take my deal away right now, I know I find another way to get money.
Yeah.
Because it's just the hustler in me. But I think a lot of people are scared and they're protecting that. I'm not scared of money.
That's that
I
fear.
like to share, and I share abundance. I share a lot. And it just brings me joy. And that's one of my purpose, bringing people together. And, God multiply those blessings back. That's for people to, I hope a lot of people, go see it that way because they're scared of that money. They just hold it and they put it in the bank. Where does it go? It just decrease.
Right.
So I just like to share and give. And as I doing it, my mind becomes more clear, and I get different visions of how we can build this together and that together. And it's about together.
Right.
Otherwise, everybody is just like have money on their own and they're just living their life. But what if we put it together? Let's see, we bring like 1,000 people together, athletes, artists, thought leaders, just people, and we just put the money together. That's scary. That's very scary. That's what the Jewish people do, but I spoke the other day with some friends about it. We have to find a way.
Yeah. I think if it's led with the right vision. But one thing I learned about bringing people together is that nobody wants to be first and nobody wants to be last.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once it starts and it becomes a ripple effect, you see 2 people do something, you're like, hey, can I be a part of this? You see 3 people, they like, why nobody told me?
Right.
You see 4 people, like, everybody's on it, I gotta do it. So it's that effect that, when it's in an idea stage, that's the stage where it is the most vulnerable. You know what I mean? And until it's begun and it starts to work and it gains traction, right? People don't have belief in it, right? And so only the revolutionaries start off first because they don't need it to be successful in order to start. They're willing to be a trailblazer.
Exactly.
Right? And then that second round of people, once they see it, they like, it's word of mouth. Tell me, how did it go? Right? And then once you communicate with them, they be like, you know what? I'm willing to take that risk as well. Then the third group of people, once everybody is doing it, enough people, they're ready to follow and get on because it's standard and they don't want to be the last to miss out. And then it's the last round of people, no matter what, they not gonna get involved.
Right.
So it's finding the revolutionaries and then communicating to the people who will be willing to join on after it starts to gain traction.
It's a good thing that you are here, in Ghana, because I feel like you have a different following base, and we just bring it together and they get to see, and then your people capture a lot, and it's good that America is seeing what you're doing, and I'm proud of you. Oh, I knew that it would be like that because it was for me, and I feel like we're similar in certain ways. We think similar, but the experiences that you feel here is gonna be like, now that you experience, it's like, okay, how do you go back home to America and then knowing that, okay, this is home for you, so you always know right now that, okay, Africa, I can always come back home.
Right.
I don't have to be that. Money is here as well. You can make money here, you can make money everywhere in the world. It's just where you find your happiness, your peace, and where here I feel like there's more freedom, and everybody is like on that wave now of like, okay, you know, rebellion, freedom, having a mindset that we want to own things, and most of the things that, I don't know, overseas, for example, in Europe, it's more tough to own a lot of stuff because it's just designed in a way that they own already so much. So when I found out, like, okay, I want to come here, I want to give back, I want to get, you know, into property, real estate, but I also want to, there's so much talent here, for example, in what I do, like football. So, you know, I might want to open a football school, you know. From out there, you can start different businesses. Yes. You know, now it's the same what Rock Nation does, you know, but here you have raw talent, and they don't have nobody that drives them, nobody that really helps them. So I see a lot of opportunities here in the sport world. So I'll try to tap into that. But then, yeah, you met some of my friends. They do all type of stuff. Look at the resources that we have on the ground. It's a lot of stuff we can do and accomplish on this side of the world. And then I like America. I have a lot of friends there as well. And back in the days, I was thinking, like, I want to move there, right? So I was 21, I went there and I was like, this is amazing. And I like certain cities, but I don't know. I find it difficult to think that I can live there in peace and freedom. You know, that's what you said the other day, like, one of the most important things what we don't feel there is like safety. And to feel free and safe is I think is you cannot exchange it for nothing. So I realized, like, it's difficult there to feel that way. So here I come here with all my problems that I have in Europe. I come here and I relax and I receive love and I feel free, and then I feel so charged up. Like, I have to go back soon, you know, practice and my season starts again. But when I come here, I just feel relieved and gaining all that energy from the kids, the school, and, you know, meeting different people that look like me, and it's different over there, you know. I don't know how to exactly.
It's wealth, and we don't often associate wealth, you know, to sometimes third world environments, but there's a level of wealth that exists that's joy, right? Because you're not comparing and constantly thinking about what you don't have, because you're not constantly looking at people who have it. We live in environments where you can never experience true gratitude because you're always around people who have more, and you're always looking at that saying, I want that, instead of appreciate what you already have. And across the planet Earth, as I view, the children in Africa seem to have more joy than any children across the planets, right? And I believe it's because they're truly free from expectation, free from the world's agendas, free from this constant bombarding of ideas and boxes to check. And instead, they're just here. They're just feeling, laughing, seeing. Like, these are the children that seem to be the most alive, because there's a level of wealth and being present, having peace, right, and joy, and just using your imagination to live. 1% of the world's, you know, leaders in capitalism and corporates, they're psychopaths. They have no emotions. So they can create chaotic environments because they know they can thrive in it, because their emotions are not attached to what's going on. And so when you have leaders that come from a place of compassion, joy, right, social good, it changes the dynamics of how we do business and entrepreneurship, and it changes the type of things that we build out. When you see good people with a lot of money, that's when you see the world change, right? it's to me, that's simple. Give the righteous man the biggest bag. And not just give, but the opportunities for him to create that. And that means that whatever's in his mind, he's going to bring it out. Because now he has nothing in front of him that stops him, right? And that's where we see the world transform and it becomes a more beautiful place, right? Right now we see people who don't have the heart to make the change, but with the resources to do it, And if the world can keep you constantly busy, especially as like parents, you don't even have time to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? If it can keep you constantly busy operating on accumulation, you don't have time to, produce from your inner child, right? That inner child is the one that looks at the world and wants to imagine things better, wants to create things. But that inner child is like, know what? I got to work. I ain't got time for that. You thinking unrealistic right now. We got to build. We got things to do, right? And so our dreams become based upon our desires on individual terms, and it stops being a vision that's based on how we change the world. Because a child always has this thought process that I can change the whole world.
Yeah.
And then when you become an adult, you know what? How about I just change the way I feel right now? Yeah. How about I just change my environment, right? Your imagination starts to shrink. And the vision starts to become so small to where when you think in survival, your vision becomes limited to just surviving this next second, the next week, or this next feeling, instead of, I can really, and you've done it in many capacities. You've inspired a generation, right? You're headed to being the #1 all-time scorer of your country. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. That starts from a child with a dream. Right. The grown man is the one who developed the skills, talent, and body to be able to continue the dream that started from that child. Yep. And it's protecting that child's dream that allow you to accomplish greatness.
Exactly. That's what I'm about. Like, I'm trying to protect our dreams, and by the way I'm living, I'm showing them like, okay, this guy has no fear. He does whatever he wants. Like, in football, there's certain things and rules, and I try to just break them or at least bend them. I don't, because it's tricky sometimes. If they want you out, they take you out. But at least I'm trying to live as free as possible. And I think that's what the next generation is seeing. Like, oh, this guy is what you said. Like, he can make music. He does whatever he wants. Like, he's performing. He's feeling good. He's smiling. He wears fly clothes. So, for example, like 8 years ago, I bought this jacket 8 years ago. Yeah. This is maybe the second or third time I'm wearing it, but
you might be the first guest on the show that came flyer than me. You might be the first one.
Well, I don't do competition, brother.
No, it's a collab.
Okay. I appreciate
I'm giving you your flowers.
I'm taking it
right now.
I'm taking that. I'm taking that. But 8 years ago, this whole thing with athletes, coming to the game fly, wearing different things, doing things differently. In my country, they shut that shit down. Like, they put me on front page in the newspaper, and they were like, what is he wearing? Like trying to criticize me and trying to blame a game that we lost based on the clothes I was wearing. That was so stupid, so dumb, but it was facts. Like, it was crazy, like how they tried to do that. But next time I had to report, I came with a different cap, with a different hat, and a different jacket. Yeah. So I was just blind and deaf to what they were saying, right? And they used to sacrifice me for that. Like, I took all the bullets and made music, and people was like not fucking with me, even like older, like the OGs in my team, they were not protecting me and telling the media like, what is this bullshit? Right. Jump off the kid. Like, we are still playing in the same team. We are the leaders. So what you guys saying is not, then, I had to go through it. But now every team, club, national team is capitalizing on how are we dressing, how we express ourselves. Now, if we have to report, there are 3 camera guys from the national team clicking the picture. Yeah. And they just to post it on their own social media. They love it. They capitalize on it. But I did that 8 years ago. They're trying to crucify me. Yeah. So I'm being ahead of things, and it always had let me know that I just have to do whatever feels good to me because they will catch up, and if they're not, then it's not supposed to be for them. So, but it's a beautiful thing that the next generation don't come with that fear. They are fearless. They, that's how they protect their dreams.
Well, you kick down the door. Now they get to walk in it. They no longer have to kick it and make a lot of noise, and everybody like, "What you doing? You being destructive." Now they get to walk into new opportunities, being themselves, and it's going to make the players happier as they play the game, right? Because they don't have to sacrifice everything they are to do something that they love.
Bro, who wants to focus 24/7 on just playing football? That's absurd. That's crazy. You need to have something that really, because there's pressure on your shoulder, your family on your back, that. So one of the things I was, expressing myself was by the way I was wearing things. So now that it's a normal thing. Yeah, you're right. But we have to just keep going with like whatever we feel good with, just do it. And if they don't rock with it, then don't. But it's for us.
Do you think you're going to, you finish this game as one of the all-time leading scorers, right? You're going to finish this game as a trailblazer, right? One that has inspired a generation to be multifaceted, which is also going to open up a lot of doors for the next generation to get all kind of different type of deals, right? And I think that you have a crossover effect, right, that most football players do not have, right? So you're big in other countries, well, specifically, I mean America, right? And that's because of the lack of culture that is allowed to be expressed from these individuals. When we like superstars in our country, that's because they get to be a brand, right? They get to be multiple sides of themselves, and those are the ones that we latch onto. So you got your LeBrons, you got your Steph Currys, you got your Kyrie Irvings, you got your KDs, right? You got your B Marshalls. But these are people that are allowed to show more of themselves. And in the football arena, we don't get to see that enough, right? So in America, we don't get to attach to the brand of that person. You know what I mean? And so you're a person that has that crossover effect because, no, bro, fly, bro, do music. And you're actually good at the music you do. I think you might be number one of the top music artists in the world that are top level athletes at the same time.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I met Damian Lillard in Paris last week.
He's from Oakland, so he got that.
He goes crazy, so I might want to link up with him and do something. But,
I did a song with Kyrie Irving. We ain't released it yet.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was we went into the studio, freestyled, and put together something.
Yeah, no, you're different with the freestyle, bro. Like, I knew it from the first time I met you. Like, you go crazy. Your words just coming in massive, rapidly pace, like they come. But I always wanted to bridge that gap because I always looked up to like when I was maybe 9, I had Tupac and 50 Cent in my room, right? I was 9, I was just looking video clips, all the fly cars, the way they were dressed, just the way they were expressing themselves. So I was always inspired by, the people, the people that were, in America. And then that made me realize, okay, I want to get big. I have to do it differently because here in Europe they don't get it. So I will not say that I was born in the wrong country because I think my purpose is that, I shifted that whole place to look bigger. But yeah, when I start to see, okay, people fuck with me on the other side, I was like, yeah, they're supposed to because I fuck with them since way back. Some of the guys inspired me, so it's a beautiful thing. I think just, what I've seen, like guys, or maybe it's just a me thing, or in Africa, we express ourselves like fully. Like my guard doesn't need to be up that much. And I see sometimes when I come over there in America, the guards, they be like
Yeah, this
They look
America
at you
doesn't
like,
inspire safety.
And I have a lot of that's what we talked about too. But as like, successful men, we supposed to just, I think, let go of a little bit of ego sometimes, because I think that's where it stops us from connecting sometimes and building and being more successful and spreading and being more powerful, man. Like, togetherness is so powerful. Like, we can do so much shit, and I see that sometimes. And the friends that I have, I see, okay, once they're around me, then they like, hey, this dude is different. They feel good, and then the guy comes down, and then it's just beautiful, man.
Yeah.
But I understand that over there you have to have your guard up, because you met me in LA. I have friends that are from all certain places. The guard needs to be up 24/7, man. And I've brought some people to Ghana before, and I just saw the change, the way they their body just start to relax.
Yeah.
And that, it's worth thinking of, to actually, for certain people to think like, okay, maybe I'm not in the right place.
Yeah, mental. That
Not only mentally, but just living, like living in certain places. Maybe I need to move, but they're scared to make the move.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the sacrifice of your mental health is when you stand in an environment that's not conducive to your nature and your safety. And like, from a mental health standpoint, it's about your body can never get rest until it feels it's safe. So it's constantly sending a signal, fight or flight. It's saying, no, just keep your wires up. Don't relax your shoulders. Don't relax right now. Keep your guard up. Constantly look. That's a lot of energy that's constantly draining. And so in environments where you're able to relax, you feel safe, right? That's when your nervous system can shut down and be like, all right, we're back to a feeling of safety. And you become a completely different person. Because you realize, damn, I was in survival mode for so many years, right? And the idea of success putting you in survival mode is hard for people to fathom.
Right.
Because the more you get, the more you have to protect, right? And the less safe that you feel. So now the more heightened that you're always at. So an environment where you can let that down, right? Now you feel a level of peace. And then once you feel that peace, it starts to inspire you like, damn, this is what true wealth is.
Yep.
True wealth is not my things that I've accomplished, right? It's me being present, right? It's me being relaxed and enjoy, and me, because enjoy is being in the moment of appreciating life right now. Nothing else is happening. Everything is here. And in that state is where you can have your greatest thoughts. And that state is where you have your visions.
Yep.
And that state is where you can really think as a full human being.
Right. But to come in that state, I think we also need discipline. So, because we spend so much time on our phones, for example, social media got us like most of the people. So I delete sometimes the app. I just go delete the thing from my phone when I want to have peace and want to go somewhere with my mindset. And I think that comes with discipline, because we're so connected. We get all these type of questions, and friends, they want to be around and they want to come to the game, and then it costs a lot of energy. So you have to be aware, be aware and conscious about that. And sometimes it's just good to shut your phone off.
Yeah.
Tap in with yourself. Yeah, because that's I think one of the things that we need for our next generation. Tap in with themselves. They have to respect themselves. So there's 24 hours a day. You have to respect those time, like the time, the hours. It just goes by fast. So you will lose a whole day just being on your phone, talking with the friends and on the phone again. And
right.
That talent that God has put in you, you don't never get to use it to develop it. So discipline is really important as well.
Yeah, and just that last thought, that's overstimulation. And that can happen even if you're in a social environment. and you have to be forced to be an extrovert. People want to talk to you, and it's like, you got to be able to read the signs. Like, I can say what's up to you, I can give you a couple minutes, but don't probe, because now you're stealing my energy.
Yeah.
And now I'm overstimulated because I got too much energy coming at me, and it requires isolation after that.
Yeah.
Isolation allows you to reset your body system again, then I can come back in. But people don't respect boundaries.
No.
And so you got to set those boundaries, which is another level of discipline, because oftentimes people don't want to let other people down, but they let themselves down. And so you sacrifice your peace for somebody else's moments of joy.
Yeah.
And that's when you are not building your internal wealth, because you find yourself robbed at the end of the day and drained.
Yeah.
And no rich man is supposed to feel poor.
Right.
So setting those boundaries is key.
Yeah. What you just said, really. I'm the same sometimes, you know, but being a leader comes also with certain things. So you have to also just be ready for it. You know, I have friends, family, I take care of them, and it's a lot of people depending on me. So, you know that sometimes you're gonna feel drained, but it's the discipline to say, okay, now I choose for myself.
But see, that's what makes you a man.
Right.
Even stoicism, going through things and remaining calm while you're doing it. I have no expectations that things will be easy. I just have the expectation that I will be great at doing things that are hard. Right? So I'm gonna make them easy or look easy.
But they're actually not.
They're not. We just do very hard things and make them look easy.
Yeah.
And it messes up the rest of the world sometimes, because they watch you do something very hard that you make look easy, and then they think that they can do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? And so they want the results of a man who has the ability to do hard things, but they not willing to build themselves up to do great things. And so it's like having an expectation of a dream connected to something that requires greatness, right, will leave people disillusioned, because they'll never be able to accomplish that unless they're willing to do those hard things, right? So I tell people, if you want a soft life, right, then only have soft goals, right? Only want to accomplish things that are easy, right? But don't have an expectation to live like a rich man and never want to do hard things. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Don't try to live like me, because I be on my flies. You see me doing my push-ups everywhere in the world. You see me moving, talking, speaking, but the energy that it takes, the mental and spiritual energy, the things you don't see, the studying, the discipline.
Getting out your comfort zone.
Getting out the comfort zone, having the meetings, the constant overwiring of the brain and finding that balance to maintain flow. It's a lot.
Yeah. You just made it look easy.
Yeah.
I know.
That's why I put them good clothes on. I don't want you know what I'm saying? I gotta be fly at the end of the day.
Yep.
But that's what also comes natural to me as well.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the beauty of life, man. That's the 19 to me, man. It's the masculine and the feminine, the 1 and the 9, right? It represents the smallest number and it represents the highest number. And everything in between is that journey. We start off at that 1 and we die at that 9. But really, we don't die if we have a legacy. We give birth to more energy that we let out in the world. Right. When Nipsey Hussle passed, his legacy was birthed, right? And so many people was birthed from the inspiration of what he did with his life's work, right? And that's the beauty of it all.
Nah, he inspired me like crazy. I never met him. But when I was in LA, you met, did you meet some of my friends from LA? I think they just, no, you met them. Haiti and Brad, right? So, yeah, he inspired me to, go actually to the place in Crenshaw to tap in with the school, Crete, and just do some things for the kids, because he was doing a lot of stuff for the community. He was doing stuff for the school, and those kids there were homeless. So he did so much, and I never met him, but he just inspired me. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So now the school in Crenshaw, the people that take care of the school, they came here, Ghana, and they came. Yeah, definitely. And I brought them to my foundation. They got inspired. So that's already a bridge that we're connecting now and we can do beautiful things. It's just, it takes a decision, like the opportunity, me going there to Crenshaw, didn't know where I was or where I went, just knew I wanted to give back over there. And now, you know, a couple years later, they coming to Ghana, and this is how we're supposed to like connect, support each other, because sharing is giving, man. It's for me the best feeling.
Yeah, service.
Yeah.
Service to humanity. I got a last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
2 last questions. Who is your greatest football player?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man. That's so.
You don't have to name one if you don't have to, because you know what Mount Rushmore is in America?
Who?
It's a mountain called Mount Rushmore, and it's 4 presidents. So
Yeah.
when we ask people who's they Mount Rushmore, we are basically saying, who would you put on that mountain?
Okay. Man. So you have so many legends, and the current like GOATs are still playing, but then I would say Ronaldinho, the Brazilian, the guy was just different and that was because he was smiling all the time, so he brought joy to the game.
Yeah.
Everybody was just like overdoing it and looking aggressive, and then he was just, even when he got kicked down, he just smiled at you.
Yeah.
And then he stand up and just grab the ball, and he did like, he do things that nobody knew was possible on the court, on the field. So yeah, he stopped, like he didn't reach his
Peak.
Yeah. No, he retired, but you know, it's like, you know, he lived life as well. So he was like, from what I've heard, you know, he was partying a lot, but he gave so much to the game. So for me, like that's for me, I would pick him to put on the what's the mountain called?
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I know the mountain with the
Yeah,
four presidents, but I didn't know the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would put him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I take inspiration from a lot of different athletes.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know, you got the Messi, the Ronaldo, the Neymar,
Uh-huh.
the Kylian Mbappe. Like, you know, you got so many young guys that coming, and then some of the guys that are just now enjoying almost their retirement, but they give so much to the game.
All right. Last but not least, who is Memphis Depay?
Ooh. Damn. Memphis is a guy that's born in the Netherlands, got father from Ghana, mother from the Netherlands, and is a guy that comes with different layers, you know. Not everybody get to know the real me. It's expensive, you know, my energy, man. It's like I've wasted a lot to give it to the wrong people, so I want to just give to the people who deserve it. And I mean, I give it to the world, right? But you know, you have your close people, or like how we are here with like 30 of us and just connecting. I want to give that to everyone, but not everybody is going to appreciate that. You know, so sometimes that's difficult because I'm a giving person. So Memphis is a giving person. Is a person that's, you know, fearless. You know, I do what I feel is good for me or for others, you know. I think I'm very thoughtful, so I like to make others feel better. You know, I'm not like stepping on nobody's toes to make myself. Like, I've learned to put my ego aside. Like, you know, I think I did that when I was 23 or something. When I'm born with both parents, but they separated, they got divorced when I was 3. So I had to work my way around the world, and, you know, I felt like I had to raise myself. But then when I was 23, I was like, yo, I need to forgive my dad because, you know, I don't know his story, right? Came from Ghana as a refugee, coming to the Netherlands to find a better future, you know. And then who am I to like not forgive him? Doesn't mean we have the best relationship, but it's cool. It's in peace, and I know how to be a better guy, better father for in the future. So I've always made a lot of mistakes early on because I had the freedom to grow. My mom gave me the freedom. So when I was 12, I moved in a foster family, and I just was like, I was happy about it, you know? I was like, okay, I want to see what the world has to offer and what God want me to do. And I'm 29 right now, like, done a lot of great stuff, met a lot of beautiful people, making sure that, you know, the legacy keeps building up and making major moves. So there's a lot of things that I can say about me, but, you know, one that like changing the game, playing football. You know, I wrote a book when I was 25, was bestseller in my country, so that changed a lot of people's life. What I was just talking about, my, you know, it's a biography. I'm talking about my life story, and I'm so open with my mistakes, but it's for the people because I don't want them to make the same. I saw a lot of beautiful people with beautiful, great talent, but they went the other way. They made mistakes and never saw them back. You know, they either died or they broke, or they, you know, broke poor in their mindset. You know, I'm just trying to be real with the world and the people, most of the people that love it.
That's what's up. That question always brings out a lot, because we don't often get asked. How you doing? What's your name? What do you do? What do you want to do? How does this make you feel? But who you are, it speaks to your spiritual identity, your purpose, your meaning, all of those things that roundabout make you who you are. You know what I mean? And you can only know your meaning from the point of self-awareness, right? Because that's your starting place, and it gives you your compass and your direction in life. This is who I am. These are my core values. These are my traits. This is what I love. This is what I like to do. And then I have to filter everything based on that. If a person said they're a doctor, what do you do? I prescribe medicine. I heal people or whatever. Mm-hmm. You say you're a soccer player, that's a title. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's not who you are. Yeah. Right? You have a biological and an athletic gift, right? To utilize it within a sports arena, but who you are, those are the things that you just named, your traits, your characteristics, your mission, your vision, your values. Yeah. So I appreciate you sitting down with me, man. It's been 19 minutes and 19 keys, man.
I appreciate you having me on the show, man.
Yes, sir. If you're going to jump into Crown Society, you're saying that I represent power, I represent knowledge of self.
Stepping in the name of drip, get ready with me. Stepping in the name of drip, get ready.
I wear the crown to just symbolize, like, I know who I am, I know why I'm here, I know my purpose.
It's abundance, it's royalty, it's prosperity, it's energy.
Put in. Yeah. I gotta walk with my head held high because you gotta see this and you gotta see this.
I believe that if anybody wants to be able to protect their mind and be able to think freely, you gotta get Crown Society today, man.
Neo after the blue pill, the color palette's all black. James Bond mixed with Malcolm X in my Che Guevara era.